Okay, hi guys. This is going to be a full review of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for the Nintendo 3DS. As you can see in front of me, I have my 3DS Extra Large, and I've also got the Circle Pad Pro attachment, which I can't recommend more. So I've played the game for maybe an hour or so, and first thing to note is it really doesn't seem to have as much structure or focus as the PSP version. There's a lot of times when I sort of felt that I really didn't know what I was doing, and it really didn't make it that clear. Second disadvantage I would say is that, well, although the game does look pretty good, the resolution is very low, and this is especially apparent when you're reading text on the screen. It looks like really fuzzy, like sometimes you just can't even make out what it's trying to ask. I mean, maybe on the camera it might seem okay or quite good, but when you're actually looking at it off the 3DS screen, it really is pretty difficult to read a lot of it. When the writing gets small especially, it's a really big issue. On the graphical side of things, the game does look better than the PlayStation Portable, and it runs at a higher frame rate, so all the animations are very smooth. It's easy to sort of get around quickly with the Circle Pad Pro. And yeah, so the game looks and feels like a Monster Hunter. It works as it should. I'm just currently on a quest to gather some ores or something. I wasn't really paying much attention. As far as the actual monsters go, haven't really spent that much time. I haven't got any big monsters or anything, but what I have noticed is that it kind of has this kind of reward system for killing enemies, where you convert your kills to resources which you spend in the village, which is an interesting little addition, and I suppose it incentivizes you more just to attack everything you see, basically. You've got the kind of usual gather and get better items and better weapons formula that we're used to. Okay. And as you can see, the game has been refined quite a bit. For example, on the 3DS you can opt to use the bottom screen to show all your, well, everything really. So the top screen is literally just the hunter, which is quite a nice addition, and I suppose it does help with making things a bit clearer. Like if you want to just flick across like that, you can do that, but it's a bit difficult to do when you're sort of in an intense action sequence. You know, it's a bit awkward to having to come down here to touch your screen when you need to be pressing these buttons. So normally you just stick to the physical controls anyway, which still work fine. I think it's, yeah, you still use that by holding down this button here on the back of the Circle Pad Pro. Now, unless you're already, the Circle Pad Pro does already have these two shoulder buttons at the back. They don't feel as good as like the shoulder buttons on an average controller, but they do feel better than the stock 3DS controllers, and obviously they are adding two extra buttons there, which can make things a little bit easier. And it kind of feels more like an Xbox controller, so it's a bit more comfortable to hold as well, but it is a bit heavier. But if you don't mind that, I suppose it's a good addition to have. On top of that, I would also say that the Circle Pad Pro is not built to the same quality as the 3DS, in the sense that this circle pad here is really, really smooth and works absolutely flawlessly, whereas this one is a little bit less accurate, and also there is a bit more friction to it than the really smooth one on the actual 3DS. I mean, this could be partly due to the one that obviously this has been used more, but I never noticed any friction at all, even when it was brand new on this, so could be a bit of just getting used to or something, but it doesn't feel like as high a quality circle pad as this one. But just a small thing there, really. I still just recommend the accessory as a whole, but also it does block your stylus slot down here. But you shouldn't be needing your stylus anyway during gameplay. The only area you get access to at the beginning is the Moga Woods, and that's just kind of a place where you gather resources and just sort of go out to mine and stuff. You also get two like feline things that come and help you, but I haven't got to that stage yet. and they do seem to actually make more of a difference and influence the battle more than, say, with just the one that you had before. And I suppose the actual intelligence of the AI has been enhanced, which is always a bonus, especially when fighting the tough monsters. And one good thing about this game, which Try didn't have, is that it does have the G rank, which is obviously the best for those who are really hardcore, should I say. There's a lot of talking, and all of this is going to seem really trivial to the hardcore gamers who just want to get into the meat of the game, because from what I found so far, it's tailored to beginners, which is going to obviously put some people off, but I suppose you're just going to have to get through it. Shouldn't take you too long, but as you can see, this is basically what at least the first hour is. It's just very trivial, gathering bugs and stuff like that, so it is a bit boring, but hopefully it should pick up pace pretty soon. That's all I've got to say at the minute. Like I said, impressions are good, but the two issues I had was firstly the text being a little bit sort of fuzzy and not easy to read, and secondly a few hindrances with the Circle Pad Pro. So yeah, impressions are good so far, so stay tuned for more updates on this game and what I think of it, and I suppose hopefully my progress as well. So thanks for watching. Rate, subscribe, comment, like, and check out my other videos.